Hello virtual pilots, I'm Andre Celesti and welcome to another edition of our HIP Talk Show, where we pick a subject and bring important members of our community to discuss it. You can join us too, more information in the video description on how to do that. Here at How I Play, we showcase a lot of content from DCS World, from the third-party developers and the community. Apart from the on-the-spot news show, we like to share with you the stories behind DCS World. Be that with our Spot the Screenshot show, where we discover the artists that take their time to make amazing pictures for DCS World, or the Add-on Spotlight series, where we showcase the mods and add-ons our community creates. These shows are not too often as the news, but are important, as today we focus our podcast on cinematic videos, more precisely on a newcomer in the world of DCS cinematic content. Some in our community like to share their vision with short stories, trailers, or reenactments of historical events, even gameplay, captured on video and produced like a Hollywood-style movie. And today's guest on our talk show is Graded, a DCS cinematic video editor. We showcase some shots from his recent work on two of our primetime news shows, and now we are happy to have him on air, so we can discuss about his passion for creating these fancy cinematic shots. So Graded, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, AC.
Tell me, why DCS? Why not any other flight sim out there?
Well, first of all, DCS is the go-to option for me, simply because it combines the graphics of a AAA game with the realism of a pure military flight sim, which I really enjoy. Another good thing is the vast community and how there is a server for pretty much everything you want to do in it. DCS mainly offers this relaxed feel to it simply because, well, it is not a AAA game. It's made by a relatively small team from what I know. It's a wonderful game that combines pretty much anything you want, including tons of freedom regarding your cinematic shots, graphics, and of course, first of all, realism, which is the most important part when you are talking about a simulator after all.
Very soon, Arma-like type of gameplay. Who knows? Why not?
Let's hope.
So tell us, what is your process when you create the cinematics? How do you work?
Well, first of all, the harshest part is getting those ideas. Well, finding the correct song is what brings the cinematic to life. The ideas is what makes it unique from others. I have taken inspiration from multiple others, but I'm trying to keep it as original as possible. Whenever I do my cinematics, I just think of what hasn't been done. I look into videos, what has been shown, how can I adjust it, how can I maybe even improve it. I always look out for new ideas, and I have some new noted down for later use.
You have a process when you note it down, and then what happens when you put it all together?
On my end, I try to embrace the feel of thinking it on the spot, seeing what fits best with the song. I do not have it pre-planned on how it will occur, since everything can change, even from a slight beat drop to between a night and day shot. I usually think of the ideas at school, actually. School not as much at late at night, but I mainly just try to fit a song, try to cut it, make it as enjoyable as possible, try to cut out the boring parts, as I like to call them. Once I do that, I like to fit them in based on the beats. I try to keep it at least 2 seconds long each shot, as one of my friends taught me. And it always works out on my end. Now, on what the community thinks about my cinematics, I cannot say, as I do not know their opinion. But I feel I'm currently providing the best I can, and I'm sure hoping that they'll improve on it.
And coming back to the music, what type of genre do you actually listen in real life, like just for yourself?
In general, I just mainly enjoy rock. My family has been all around rock, so I just mainly embraced it. I do like casual rap, and every once in a while, when I'm in the mood, I listen to some classical Romanian stuff.
When it comes to inspiration, do you get inspiration from movies, from real life events, maybe books, for creating your videos?
Regarding the movies part, I do get inspired by not as realistic movies, but Battle of Britain was a large contributor to my future project. And I mainly based my cinematics around modern times, even though I try to include as many non-heated conflicts in the world, like the Afghan War or something similar. I do try to keep it in a fictional aspect. In terms of real life events, as I said, I mainly go off the wars. I try to change something so that it's not 1-to-1, as other people have already did it 1-to-1. I do not want to copy them, and I want to give credit to all of their work and ideas. And as for books, I haven't read too many about war. I am looking into it for future reference, but there's still a bit of time until I reach that point.
Any aviation background in the family? Can you share anything with us and with our viewers?
I do know that my grandfather was in the Air Force as a mechanic. He used to repair the old Romanian MiG-29s that we had back in the late 80s, early 90s, just before the Romanian Revolution. That sentence was short-lived, as about a year or so after my grandfather repaired those pieces of marvelous engineering, the revolution happened and he got retasked. He chose another job and then soon retired after that. Don't know too much about his backstory with the other projects he did, but he did mention that to me.
You are also part of our community here on Discord, and we even flew together in at least one of the Hip Games dynamic mission tests. Do you fly with virtual squadrons by any chance?
Regarding virtual squadrons, I used to rock with one called the Virtual Royal Air Force. As of now, it's currently on standby due to some integral problems inside it, but that's my main base of operations. I do also participate in the Tactical Air Combat Tournament, and basically I use DCS to fool around as much as I can while still keeping a realism aspect. It's the perfect environment for that. Of course, taking in the aspect of the Royal Air Force in it. As of now, they currently don't operate all of the RAF aircraft simply due to the fact that there's not as much demand for the British modules that there is for the American ones. But they are hoping to get more people in once the Tornado/Eurofighter Typhoon eventually comes out.
Yeah, those two modules definitely will bring some new joy to the table for many virtual squadrons, definitely. So you mentioned a bit before, but tell us, what is your plan for the future of your content?
I mainly want to incorporate voice actors, make longer cinematics, and a story-based cinematic. Nowadays it's getting popular. But until I get the required skills and of course the manpower to do that, there's still a while to go. I am currently working on one of those projects, but it's currently on standby for some others. And as a separate thing, I'm really looking into doing IL-2 cinematics possibly. Haven't researched too much, but there is a slight chance I might do them in the future.
Okay, so you would like to tap into the World War II scenarios as well.
Of course, there's just so much to add to DCS and just the YouTube community via Warbird Cinematics.
Do you have any favorite jets in DCS world?
Well, I do have one. My first ever jet in DCS was the F-15C and I completely fell in love with it. I enjoyed the flight aspect. Even though as a newbie I was flying on any random server I could find, I didn't know about much that. But the first aircraft I can truly say fully studied was the F-15C. There's even actually a series of tutorial missions on the user files where it teaches you everything you need for professional use of the F-15C. It's just an incredible piece of kit and has a very potent air-to-air roll. Just wish they'd make it full fidelity. And then of course that transfers to the F-15E Strike Eagle. Probably as of now my favorite module simply due to the fact that there's so much variety, it's easy to use and it's hard to master.
Ah, so you got a thing for the F-15. That's nice. Okay, it's good to know. Do you fly in multiplayer mostly or in single player? Where do you spend your time?
Highly depends on the certain scenario. Usually, if I ain't working on any project, I usually fly on multiplayer with a couple of my mates. I don't really get on by myself as much, simply due to the fact that I have either just business to attend to or IRL stuff to do. But if I do hop on, I usually like to head on semi-milsim servers, simply due to the fact that it combines the casual aspect with a professional look to it.
You kind of like to go by the rules, but actually you don't want to go by the rules.
Yeah, by the rules, I mean I still want to use the SRS and other realistic comms. Do not want to hold for push times or...
And you take up from the taxiway.
I wouldn't go as far. Maybe on certain,
certain
servers.
I know a few guys, especially on our server. Of course, we are testing, so it's fine. And they are like, "What are you doing?" It was like, "No, don't worry, it's totally fine. That's how we do it."
And I might have the idea on who you're talking about.
Yes, of course. What is your opinion on the recent news in DCS world for 2024, more precisely?
Well, first of all, I'm really excited for the future, including the fact that we are getting probably one of my go-to Russian aircraft, the MiG-29. I'm really excited about that module as it was being teased for such a long time. And now it's finally confirmed to come in full fidelity. It's just a cracking piece of kit and I cannot wait to see the capabilities. Another project that I'm currently looking out on is the mention of many potent mods coming to DCS, including an Aardvark mod from what I've heard. And of course, I cannot wait for the dreaded Mariana's remake along with the F4U Corsair, as that is my favorite warbird to date.
Okay, so you're looking forward for the World War II Marianas.
Of course, I feel that will add, as I said, a whole new theater to DCS, which also provides tons of cinematic potential.
Speaking of modules, will you get the F4E Phantom by Hitler?
Yes, I currently have, I'm very likely to get it simply because, as I said, the F4E is my type of aircraft. Very heavy but fast. So, similar, that's one of the aspects that I also like for the F-15E. It's not as maneuverable as its counterparts, but that doesn't mean it's not as reliable as them. Same goes for the Phantom. It's not as nimble and light as the F1 or the MiG-21. But it can sure hit hard.
Well, have you flown the F-14 by any chance?
Of course, in the squadron, in the VRAF squadron, I used to fly the Tomcat.
Then you'll be right at home with the F4E Phantom. But do you have a VSO that will be ready for you in case you get the F4E Phantom?
Yes, I did. It's actually one of my mates who made me get into the squadron business. Just a wonderful chap, Swedish as well, so he's always mainly calm.
Great, so you're up and ready whenever it drops to be able to enjoy it. What other upcoming modules you are looking for apart from the F4 and the previous mentioned?
Another module I'm actually really eager for is the Kiowa. That combines the aspect of the French Gazelle into a US helicopter, which I do enjoy. Also, the showcase of the co-pilot shooting his gun from the cockpit was just hilarious, and that just made me want to buy it even faster.
I think they did right with that video, and I think many users just changed their mind immediately the moment they saw it. By any chance, do you fly in any other sims or play any other games?
Well, regarding the sim part, yes I do. I fly IL-2 with a lovely bunch of people. It's called the Air Combat Group. It's a PvP squadron where it combines the RAF aspect of the World War II against the Germans.
Super.
I, for one, am part of the Allies. In my squadron, fly the Typhoon. Kind of a foreshadowing for DCS as well. So it's just a wonderful piece of kit, and I've recently just gotten my first kills. I do play Arma actually. I'm in a friend group which
Arma
just
3
plays that.
or Reforged?
Arma 3, of course.
Okay.
Of course. I don't know about Reforgers since I didn't quite get together, but from what I've heard, I didn't hear too many good news. I will.
Still getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, no. From what I've heard, they updated it quite a bit, and I'm slowly getting interested in buying it. But for now, Arma is the way to go. I'm still waiting Arma 4.
Okay, great. So, thank you once again for being here on the show, showcasing your content and your passion for DCS World. And we're looking forward to have you here on the Hip Talk Show, maybe somewhere in the future.
I must thank you a lot for actually granting me this opportunity to come on the podcast.
And so we end another edition of our Hip Talk Show. Many thanks to our Patreons for their continued support, our sponsors, VR Rock, home of your VR blue light protection and prescription lenses, Fox3 Managed Solutions for the best DCS servers out there, and PIMAX for the most quality VR headsets on the market. And subscribe to keep in touch with all the latest news on your favorite simulators and games. I am Andre Celesti, reminding you to fly safe, and I'll see you next time.